There are many, and most, I think, destinations have followed this philosophy of let's get as many people here as possible. And we don't care the type of person. Our metric is going to be visitation numbers, and they end up with the lowest common denominator. Mm-hmm. And I think that in some ways is regretful, because you get a class of people who really don't appreciate the culture. Often they're partiers. There's not much of a monetary exchange that's going on. They don't do much in the way of purchases. I mean, you could argue that this particular class of people, and there are a lot of them, do more harm than good to a destination. You can contrast Bhutan and Nepal. Nepal just opened up its doors. The only exclusivity is climbing there, which is quite expensive. But everything else is, anybody can come and trek. You don't have to go through a company. You can leave trash wherever you want. You can self-trek, and for many, it's just not a quality experience.
It's overrun.
It's overrun. It's overrun.
One of the things I've seen in personally traveling is in Southeast Asia and Cambodia,
yep,
in Angkor Wat, and going into Siem Reap, which is a beautiful airport, brand new infrastructure. Right. But then seeing these Western hotels, 5-star hotels that are funded primarily by Chinese investors, yeah, that are off to the side, away from the town, and all the tourists going from the hotels and eating and staying there and going and seeing Angkor Wat and coming back, and none of that trickling into the local economy. Bali, it's such a beautiful place, but wood carving is such a key part of the culture, but it's completely led to deforestation of the mountains around there.
Yeah. And it's all for tourism.
And it's tourism led.
They had their own particular type of art and music, but in the 30s, various entrepreneurs came in, and from Holland mostly, it was a former Dutch colony, and had these ideas about how to teach the Balinese to do better for tourism. So they taught them the Kecik dance, which is now the signature dance. That's not a native dance to Indonesia. So they invented it, and they turned it into something that would, wow the foreign tourist. And the sort of story...
In the 30s?
In the 30s. And the storyboard carvings that you see were also brought in, and they taught the Indonesian artists how to create this sort of mass market storyboard type of carving, which was not native or traditional at all. And that was, let's please the tourists, let's bring in more tourists.
It's really difficult for a lot of countries, from Cambodia to Laos to perhaps even Vietnam, to put in place a cohesive strategy for tourism that's sustainable, where they don't lose the uniqueness of their destination and become overrun with tourist investment that isn't properly planned. And it's a difficult challenge for any government body, I would think, to deal with those issues.
Yeah, I mean, it often boils down to sort of short-term economic gains, to sort of a long-term strategy that is sustainable.